Hi, everybody. It's Rachel. I'm here for my first, inaugural real estate roundtable, even though we're on a couch. I don't really know. So I'm Rachel, a real estate advisor. We're here with Jeff Campbell, one half of Cartier Campbell Realty Group, an incredible colleague of mine, and the baddest underwriter in the city of Cincinnati, and my best friend Olayinka Jones. Thank you both. I know it's worthy. It's worthy. She is worthy of the big title. Yes. Thank you both for being here with me. I really appreciate it. So the biggest kind of goal of this is to just create conversation about the real estate industry outside of realtors and houses, and just show how big the real estate industry is and so many different sides of it. So from there, I guess I'll allow everybody to introduce themselves. Jeff, would you like to go first?
Yeah, she stated, my name is Jeff Campbell, one half of Cartier Campbell Realty Group here in Cincinnati, Ohio. We established that about a year ago. Me and my partner got into real estate, basically just to secure our financial freedom from the W-2 job sector, basically. And that's pretty much the gist of why we got into real estate. But as we got into it more, we started to learn more about the investing side and the changes in real estate. And I'm sure, we'll talk about that in this conversation. But I mean, that's pretty much my story. And I like to stick to that kind of minute, you know what I mean? Simplicity is just financial freedom, you know what I mean? From the W-2 job, because we all work a W-2 job for the most part, and we all know how that feels.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
That's just,
And I'm one of them people that do that.
Yes.
Yeah. W-2 jobs are
not knocking W-2 jobs at all, because you need to have that.
Yes.
I mean, because that creates that stability, that creates that actual word I'm just looking for is stability, really, that you're looking for. So there's nothing knocking W-2 jobs at all, because you're getting that consistent paycheck, and that's key.
Real. And it's hard out here for entrepreneurs.
Yes,
sometimes it's inconsistent.
That's what they ask you in the interview. What brings you here?
Yes. Money.
Consistency.
Write me the check.
Yes. For real.
Olayinka, would you like to introduce yourself?
Well, my name is Olayinka Jones. Again, I know this beautiful gem of mine since high school.
Girl, middle school. Back.
So we didn't really talk in middle school, but high school we became
besties. Yeah, for the resties.
Yeah.
We have a lot of stories we can't talk about on the
not
record.
on this floor. Wrong floor. But yeah, I've been doing underwrite. Well, I'm an underwriter at U.S. Bank, mortgage underwriter at that. I've been doing that for 3 to 4 years almost. I dabbled into that actually, not knowing I was going to dabble into that. When I didn't finish college, I needed something that I knew that was going to be consistent. And again, stability. What's going to be here for a long time? Underwriting.
Yes.
I learned it. I took classes on it. I grasped the knowledge of it. And where I stand on my point, what I do, I help people from falling into foreclosure. So the beauty of what I'm doing is I'm helping people from not losing their homes. Yeah. Yes. So that kind of a plus.
Yeah,
I'm like, okay,
definitely a benefit.
Even though you hate me for denying you, there are perks that I'm saving people from losing their homes.
Right.
So, yeah.
And to rewind a little bit too, because that's kind of why I want to bring her on, is I feel like people have no idea what an underwriter is. Yeah. So can you kind of explain what an underwriter does and what your kind of role is in the mortgage industry?
Yeah. Well, besides the people who people love to hate. Well, I am behind the scenes. What I do mostly is I go into depth in people's credit and financial background and to determine if they qualify for a loan.
Well, okay.
So, and of course with them loans, what I dabble in, I do the government loans. I do the conforming loans. So that's the FHA, the USDA, the VA, and the conventional loans.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. Awesome. So that's my territory.
Your spiel.
Yes.
Awesome.
Okay.
Yeah.
So and Jeff, I brought him on because he has incredible. One thing I really appreciate about Jeff, and just even working together in the brief time that I've been licensed, is he's always very curious and wants to know more and more knowledge, especially on the investor side. I think as real estate agents, you are kind of told and instructed that you're to put someone in a beautiful house and they're going to live there forever and their family's going to live there and it's going to be so exciting.
That's the dream.
That's the dream.
That's sold to you.
Right, exactly. But that's not all of what agents do.
Not at all.
And so if you can kind of touch on how did you I feel like you have an investor. That's kind of what your goal is, like you said, for financial freedom.
Yeah.
And just kind of why that's your goal.
Yeah,
and focus.
I mean, so basically, like I said, creating financial freedom for me and my family is the initial goal that I set out with real estate. That was basically what I was trying to do. I was like, look, let me park my money into a rental property that continues to grow equity, continues to gain or grow my net worth, and basically pays my living costs. So if I want a nice car, I have a home that pays for that. If I want a nice home, I have another home that pays for that. If I want to go on extravagant vacations, if I want to go other countries like you've been around the world, I would love to do that. And having the ability to do that will be able to, putting these things in place, like, setting up your 4 families or your multiplexes or whatever it may be. That's just the investing side in real estate. Something I always tell my partner is, this is a saying that I don't know where I got it from. I don't know if I made it up myself, but I'm gonna say it anyways.
Take the
credit. It's mine. It's all mine.
I don't know. I mean, it's just something I say, and I always say, "He who owns land owns man." And if you think about it, if you think about war, if you think about, I probably didn't. Like I said, I don't know where I got it from. If God maybe gave it to me, I may have heard it from yeah. So I'm saying I like the saying because it fits in so many aspects of like just life. Like you think about wars, you think about slavery, you think about just the progression of America and other countries. Is all about the land. If you look at the war we're in right now with Syria, it's all about their land. They always thinking like, oh, we're just trying to save the people from themselves or whatever story they're trying to spin for you, but it's usually for the natural resources of the land. So he who owns land owns man. So you can never, you can always. No, really.
No, but for real, you have a purpose, and what you really do have a purpose.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
And I have an 11-year-old, I have a 4-year-old daughter, 2 girls, and I would love for them. I love being a girl dad. That's the best, honestly. Like honestly, everyone's like, get your son, get you a son. 2. I have 2 girls, yes, 2 daughters. Oh my God, they're at my home right now.
His whole face like.
No, really, because like they soften you. They give you that focus, and like everyone says like, oh, your kid motivates
for the better, for
but
sure.
They do. They really do. You know what I mean? Before I had my kids, I was just this, that, and the other.
Boy.
But then I got with my. I had these.
I don't know him. I don't know his life. I'm assuming.
I didn't go there. I had a young life that I had. That's just
he enjoyed life.
I enjoyed life, and having my daughters put everything in perspective, and I was just like, I can work. I was working restaurant jobs. I've worked at logistics coordinator companies. I worked at prescription companies. I've done odd numbers of jobs, so I gained experience in other industries of this world. So I'm like, I can do this forever. I can always get fired and go to this job, or quit this job and go to this job. Let me try something different. That's something that is outside of the box or outside of my realm of understanding.
Yeah.
And that's like, it goes back to what you're saying, always being curious. It's just like even this setting right now, I've never done anything like this before, but I love it. You know what I mean? This is really cool. And this is something that I feel like helps me get my message out. So I was like, let me step outside my box and actually do that. So that's
and I love that for you guys though, because you guys get to represent you by utilizing this platform.
Yes.
So that's dope. That is really dope.
It's definitely dope. I mean, I will say, and that's one kind. We talked about the W-2s, but it's not all glitz and glamour. Like life as an entrepreneur is tough.
Boy.
Like it's
That's
tough.
Easy. It's
and
life.
And we even were talking about today. We all woke up and it's like, oh, what'd you do today? And it was like, I wasn't feeling it today.
Yeah.
But you have that guilt that you kind of hold because you're like, dang, I could be making phone calls. I could be doing this.
You're going to make up for it another day.
And you're going to make it another day. But also, too, is finding that balance of learning. Like me, I was like, I have to listen to my body today. My body is exhausted. My mind is exhausted. And I think, too, we live in a culture that's go, 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 go.
Boy, it's always the next best thing.
It's always next best thing. And then when you're working with clients, everything feels so urgent. So when your client calls you, it's like, let me drop everything.
Craig's in trouble.
No,
really. It's like that. It is like that. You're like, geez, man. Like, what?
No, and it'd be nothing. Like, literally last night at the art museum, I had a client call me at 9 p.m. Looked at it and was like, that's a tomorrow thing.
Yeah.
But some people don't have
that. It's a balance. Yeah. It really is. Prioritize your life. Like I said, weekends. If I have it off, I'm off.
Yes.
Yeah.
I need that mental time.
Absolutely.
I need that me time. I need that self-love, self-care.
Absolutely.
I need to laugh without thinking about work.
Yeah.
I need to cry without thinking about work.
And the thing is, you have to fill your cup so that when you do show up to work, you're not drained.
You have to create that freedom for yourself to give yourself a space to grow.
Yeah.
Because if you're always engaging, you're always quote unquote on, you never know how to turn yourself off and recharge that battery and be like when I got into real estate, I was just like, you know what, when COVID was happening, I was able to slow my life down a little because there was nothing going on.
I'm telling you,
know
that's the whole world.
So I was almost forced to like sit down and be like, you know, let me read these books, let me reflect on my life. Where am I going? Jeff, you're 29, you're gonna be 30 next year. Like, what's going to happen with your life? You're gonna be 35, 40 years old, and what are you gonna do? Be a restaurant manager the rest of your life? You can't do that. So like that slow down, and then that like you said, the weekends being your thing is like that's key. You know what I mean? That gives you the clout and the realm to be like, you know, let me slow down.
Breather. It's the breather. Yes.
Let me think about my next week. You know what I mean? Let me see
I know
what
it's
am I
coming.
stepping into. Exactly.
And going into it with intention.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Absolutely. So we kind of touched on it as you mentioned COVID, and I kind of wanted to bring you in.
I
was like, nice pivot. No. Because as realtors, you know, this is the most historic market that we've ever seen. You know, inventory is at a very low. We talked about this last night, and we talked about it in training.
Yes.
The other day we pulled up stats, and in the Hamilton County there were 111 active homes for sale.
Yeah.
Right.
111 is not a lot.
That's not.
And then we're combined with rent prices going higher. So it's like, okay, why am I paying $1,500 a month for an apartment when I can get a house for $1,300? So that conversation has been changing. And then, of course, with COVID, interest rates were at an all-time low.
Exactly.
So encouraging people to buy. So kind of talking on the underwriter side, I know you said back end. Tell me how COVID kind of impacted your role and how we're kind of moving. Yeah, we booked in busy.
Busy. I mean, honestly, these situations, I mean, it's the common situation. People are losing their jobs.
Yeah.
People don't have any income.
That's tough.
Moms are stay-at-home moms.
That's tough.
Divorce rates.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of things are happening, so we have to take that in consideration, and we really did. We found we made we made a COVID plan for long term and short term, depending on their situation. Majority of them did, of course, utilize it.
Yeah,
I mean, because who don't want to not pay for a certain period of time?
Exactly.
That gives them time to restock.
Exactly.
But at the same time, you know, now that it's balanced down, now they're like, I kind of still need help.
But
we need to help you. I need you to help me. Or help us. So that's the part where we're thinking like, okay, we're here to help you. Yeah, we can help you. We can offer you this COVID long-term plan. But we need to know, is your hardship resolved? So that's the big question.
What was most of the hardships you ran into?
Unemployment.
Really?
Unemployment. I mean, the whole world took advantage of unemployment.
Oh yeah, I did myself. I was telling them,
and it's valid. So you can't even ask them, and you get too many accounts to even kind of ask, like how legit. But we do ask. We have. It's the law. So there's nothing like to tweak. We can't tweak anything.
Yeah.
Make that clear.
Put it on the record.
It's the law. I can lose my job if I don't follow these guidelines and
I'm like, damn, you can't just erase my mortgage.
No, you can't just help me.
Nah, bro.
Come on, just say I paid
Just hit
it.
the link right there. Just hit it.
Hit the red button, please.
But it's always, of course, it's not that easy.
Yeah.
We wish everything can be a snap of the finger, but we have to really go through most processes. So, and that's one of them processes. So we just needed to know. That was the main thing. We needed to know, is your hardship resolved? Because we need to know if your debt to net income, your debt to income ratio can cover what you're about to do now.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, you're making another investment.
Right.
Absolutely.
And that's what we run into on our side is, you know, we have clients looking to, like you said, COVID created this whole, like, everyone wants to invest, everyone wants to own a home, and then you got clients coming in like, all right, Jeff, I'm ready, I want to own a home.
Come on.
I want that home right there. All right, man, let's go to the bank and see what we can get you a loan for. And then they're in their what's the word I'm looking for? Their credit or their DTI, like you said, their debt to income ratio is always an issue. And that's what you're primarily running into right now is you have a lot of young people that's wanting to do what everyone is doing, quickly. What they see it so quickly.
It's the monkey see, monkey do.
Exactly. And they're lacking what we call the preparation. To get
knowledge.
There.
And they can even do that. They
exactly.
do the calculation themselves to prepare themselves easily.
Right.
Exactly.
Easily.
But I think too, it's the knowledge that people don't know, and you know, and the rising, like I said, the rising rents are kind of happening. So people are like, I just want to save $200 a month. But what they don't realize is that when you're buying a house, if you're especially in this market as a buyer, you have to be knowledgeable. And if you're planning on buying a house, you at least need to be preparing for a year in advance.
Exactly.
The reason why they don't prepare is because they utilize us to think that we were prepared then.
Right.
But I'm like, no, you
have to do the
be ahead of us a little bit.
Yes.
You're going to live here. You're going to carry that mortgage for 15, 30
that
years.
part.
Right.
Yeah. Like, I get you started, but you're finishing it.
Exactly. We're facilitators at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Right.
And so what kind of things do you feel like we talked about high DTI, like things that definitely can prepare people for getting ready to buy a home? For me, I tell my clients, if you're ready to buy a home, you need to have $10K in the bank.
You have to have something saved.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
You know,
For
savings
money
in this
is everything.
economy.
So
yes, cash is king.
Yes.
Having your own money, especially in this real estate economy, is king right now. You have a lot of investors, what I call pricing out a lot of first time home buyers. A lot of people coming to the table say, hey Jeff, I saved up $2K, my credit score is 650, 700. Hey, in 2010 or not 2010, 2015, 17, that would be great.
That'd be great.
But like right now, that now you're getting approved for a $200,000 loan. Now $200,000 is great in Cincinnati, but what I call that's an investor's rate. People have that in cash. So now you have an FHA loan, first time home buyer loan, where your outlets have to be grounded. No chipping paint. Well, you have an investor with $200,000 cash.
And
they
they
don't care about none of that.
they don't care.
So that's what we're dealing with right
Yes.
now. A lot of young people wanting to get into this, they're like, all right, I prepare myself to the point to where I believe I'm ready. But like the world has changed just like that.
Yeah.
It's just the luxury of knowing they can buy a home.
Yes.
Exactly.
But not knowing the process of buying a home.
Exactly.
And it's not the same, like the rent to your home is an investment.
It is.
And I tell people all the time, it's like you paying somebody's mortgage. It might as well be yours.
It might as well be
But
yours.
the preparation to get to that point so that you can have your home ownership, you got to prepare a lot and be knowledgeable, and even just knowing the loan products. Like we even talk about FHA and VA and conventional. Like those are things that are necessary to know in this market, especially as a first time home buyer. And in this market, FHA buyers are having a very hard time.
Very hard time.
You know, we talked about the regulations that FHA buyers require because it's a government loan. On the appraisal side, they require safety and like no chipping paint, no like handrails need to be addressed, things like that. But when you have a conventional buyer or a cash buyer, they're like, hey, I got $200K.
I got $200K. I'll buy it myself. I'll take it myself.
Money talks.
And then sometimes that cash buyer is just more prepared with knowledge. They're not more prepared with money sometimes. And that's a whole nother conversation maybe for another day. But like sometimes you just have to have access to money. You don't have to have money yourself.
You just gotta show that you have it consistently coming in.
It's not even that. It's just more or less like with the banking. You deal with conventional FHA, VA, as USDA conventional loans. But if more people get more versed with real estate into more of a minute details of how to come about money to invest into real estate, other than government-backed loans. Not saying nothing wrong with those. Of course, that is,
but that's the easy access for people because
exactly,
that's what they can get into because of what is in common. Their credit score is not that great.
Exactly,
it's the easiest loans for them to accommodate what they can have and what they can't.
And that's what they're there for. Those are designed to pretty much prepare you to get into real estate.
It's like the beginner package.
It is. It's the starter pack.
It's the starter pack for sure.
The real estate starter pack.
It is.
Yeah.
And it's okay to start there.
Right. And there's nothing wrong with that, but really, if everyone really gets down to the minute details of real estate, it's all about the access to money. It's really, I don't want to say it's all about who you know, but it's really in some ways about who you know as well. In a sense, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Connection is key, though.
Yeah, if you position yourself with the right people, they will help you get to that position, especially the real estate, because it's always growing. It's always it's inflation proof. It's economy proof. It's one of those things you can park your money into. And if rents rise, mortgage rise, it's always going to be that kind of step.
It's always going to be there.
Yeah, that's a really great point. And we talk about the real estate industry constantly changing, and curious how you all as professionals in this industry, how do you stay flexible and knowledgeable?
Well, I mean, what I like to do is, I'm a very routine person. I mean, you talk all the time, Jeff. You need to get out more. You need to be more social.
Jeff goes home.
I go home.
He got food at home.
I'm the kind of person. I listen to my audio books. I read books. I'm a very set person. I go to the gym at the same time every day. I do my workouts. I go home, take my shower, read my books, and then I go to bed. And that and setting yourself in that routine right now. And right now I'm doing that because I'm living by the motto of staying down until you come up. You know what I mean? I'm not the kind of person that's going to go out there and spend a lot of money being in bars, money I don't have. whether you have it or not, being flashy, spending a lot of money on clothes and shoes. I'm not like that right now. I would love to do that, but right now I'm staying down until I come. It's
prioritizing. That's all you're doing, and that's smart.
You only get one life to live, man. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta be smart with it. And
See,
you know what I'm saying? Be smart with it because you don't want to get 60 years old and be like, hey, son, daughter, can you take care of me? Or whatever it may be. You know what I mean? We deal with those in our community.
That's the life we live in. When we get a little money, we get excited.
Exactly.
We get excited. And it get wasted real quickly and real easy.
It's a mindset shift you have to undergo, especially just with real estate, like you said, just that mind shift.
We have to constantly be flexible.
And that makes more sense because you have kids too, so you definitely have to prioritize.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I have a family. This is not only me. This is we.
Really.
So you say curious. You read a lot of books. Do you recommend books? I know you have. He has a book club. I'm trying to get him to be like Jeff and Caroline's book club.
I love reading books
Give me a top 3.
that gives you more perspective about real estate and just about life and how it ties in together. The first book I would love for everyone to read is probably one of the biggest books out there about real estate. Not even about real estate, but it ties into real estate. And is Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. That book is a story about. It's not about a poor dad per se or a rich dad per se. It's about two perspectives on how to make money in this world. And the rich dad is not necessarily rich financially, but he's rich in knowledge. And then the poor dad is more set in his way. It's a great story. I recommend it for everyone. Second book, something that I read for my personal journey is How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. That book is definitely something I recommend if you struggle with just social aspects or just public speaking, or just if you struggle with just, that in our industry, you have to be very versed with people and be able to approach people. So,
See, that's why I like that I'm behind the scenes because I don't have to face you.
Exactly.
Don't like. I love being in a company.
Of course,
of people,
yeah.
But I don't want to give you the bad news.
Yes. Yeah. I am an introvert by heart, I think, and
I'm a gentle butterfly. And I started to interior with you.
I
tried.
So you really have to but either way, that book I definitely recommend. And then there's another book I read. It's escaping me right now. Jesus Christ.
Is this the Nike book you were talking about?
No, not that one. You know what?
Put a pin in it. All right.
You know what? We'll put a pin in it. But those two books I recommend.
Those two are going to be incredible.
Yes, read those books. Those are great books to start off with.
So yeah, thank you for that.
Of course.
Olayinka too, as we're wrapping up. As an underwriter, I guess my biggest thing is we talked about the preparation for home buying or, things to keep in mind. Do you have any advice to people entering home ownership that they should keep in mind when they're getting ready to make that plunge, or ways they can educate themselves so that they don't get denied by an underwriter?
Well, the thing is, I wish we weren't wrapping up, but because the process is sometimes manual or automated. Because remember, I was trying to explain that to you as well. Like, we do handle it on the front end, as in calculating all their information, their credit, their income, their debts, their student loans, everything to see before we put it in the system to see if they qualify. Now, and that's the touchy part because everyone always assumes, you're just denying. No, we go through a process first, and then we go to the next underwriter who's going to double check the approval. So they're the last ones, which is the third underwriter, which is, and they're the ones that will honestly confirm you. But honestly, like what we were talking about prior, what I would like to say to prepare people is do your research. Easily. Google is free.
Knowledge
Google is free. No, knowledge is power.
Yeah. No, someone told me applied knowledge is power.
That's real.
So
that's
I like that one.
Yeah.
I was like,
I'm taking that one.
No, that's real.
Because you can have all the knowledge, but if you don't apply it, it's no good.
It's
no
good. The tree falls in the forest and makes a sound.
You got all these crazy
that's a life quote.
That's not. We've all heard that. We've all heard that before. That's
we rest our memory.
So you talked about knowledge. Applied knowledge is power as an incoming home buyer.
Yes.
Even as a seller. I mean, it's important to know what you're selling.
You have to know what you're getting yourself into.
Yes, because it's some of the biggest purchases that people will make in their lives.
Yes.
Not the biggest.
The biggest
purchase. Not just knowing about money, but also knowing what type of loans you're interested in. Like you said, beyond just government. Beyond just government. You have the you have conforming loans.
Yes.
That's what you was talking about.
Yeah. So conforming loans, can you?
Well, honestly, I want to know more about it,
Sure.
but I don't have the.
To my understanding, as someone that took real estate classes, what conforming loans are when a loan product. So a lot of banks and mortgage companies don't keep their loans. They'll originate the loans, they'll get you through, and then they sell them to the secondary market. So to my understanding, conforming loans are making sure that it can be sold to the secondary market so that the process is all the same. I mean, I don't know. Listen,
No,
that's what Hondros
honestly,
taught me.
That
Okay?
sounds about more clear to me.
Yeah.
I need. That's why I said I'm gaining my knowledge.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
honestly, what due to what's going on, more of my knowledge is on government because
Yeah.
government's always
That's
changing.
what you've been doing.
That's
Exactly.
but government's always changing. Nothing's consistent. Just like what we're living in now.
Exactly.
Nothing is
You have to be
consistent.
prepared.
You have to.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
for
So
sure.
my knowledge is more focused on that. But honestly, when I grasp more into my underwriting, because it is a broad platform,
Yes.
Absolutely.
best believe I would be on point with that.
Yeah,
answer.
yeah, I got you. Part
Come
two.
back and-
So
yeah,
part
for
two.
real. Come back and tell 'em back then, yeah.
So part two. But yeah, I feel like that was an incredible conversation. I'm like, I feel like any other notes to the people, like any.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
like you
educated.
said, applied knowledge.
Yeah.
Applied knowledge is key. Like you
Yes.
said, applied knowledge is key. You can read all the books, you can Google everything, but if you're not doing anything with it,
Yeah,
then
then
you're just
it's
wasting
not
your own
good.
time
Yeah,
at the end of the day.
absolutely.
So just
Absolutely.
apply that knowledge and just do
Yep,
it. Just start.
Yep.
Just start.
Just start, I guess, remain curious and, talk to an advisor. But if you're looking to buy a home or even get in the real estate market, like,
Talk to
plan.
people. Talk to people.
Plan in
you know.
advance. And that's the thing. And we're subject matter experts, so we're
Yes.
here and we're available. And thank you both so much for
Yes,
being
thank you.
present. I
Thank you
appreciate
for
having
you
us.
both.
This
Thank you
was
so much. I look
Thank
forward
you.
to more.
Yes.
And thank you for tuning in. Appreciate it.
Thank you. That was fun. That
Man.
was fun.
See, it wasn't that bad.